Well, hello there, and welcome to the Astrology Said So podcast. This is the podcast that everyone in the astrology world should be talking about because it's like page 6 meets your Cosmo horoscope. Kind of.
Totally.
We are your hosts. I'm Camille, known as Cosmic Cannibal. And
I'm
you,
Jenny D.
the iconic D. And today we are talking about one of the best transits of 2026, which is Jupiter and Leo.
The biggest,
Oh,
maybe the biggest deal of the entire year is this transit.
yeah, I think so. I mean, I have Jupiter and Leo, so I'm like, yeah, it is for me.
Exactly. And when it comes to astrology, it's all about us, right?
Exactly.
It's all
Exactly.
about you. It's all about us. It's all about me. It's all about you.
Yes. And so today we're talking about how Jupiter and Leo is impacting us. We can expect what this transit is about, what we look forward to, what we can look out for. Also going to be talking about Chiron in Taurus because as soon as Jupiter enters Leo, it's already butting heads with the wounded asteroid.
Yes. So there's I feel like there's a lot going on with obviously with Chiron going into Taurus and kind of giving that vulnerability to Venus
Mm,
as she's also going through Leo. And so as
yes.
soon as Jupiter starts knocking on the door, it's just gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger
Right.
um until she gets out of there.
And that's
And
a great point. Ed. I was going to say great point because this is we're going to have Venus and Leo and Jupiter and Leo right now. I don't think Venus and Leo for the next time that Jupiter is going to be in Leo from June 29th, 20 or the 30th, depending on where
mhm,
you're at, right? Until what is it, July 5th, I think,
yeah,
2027. And I don't believe, I mean, I haven't checked, but I don't believe Venus is in Leo during that time. Or if she is, it's not another like short time that we're having Venus and Jupiter together. So it's really interesting because Venus has kind of opened a little bit of the window to what Jupiter is going to be bringing its bounty in
yeah,
this part of our life.
yeah. It's for a very short time we get the sweetness and the abundance all at the same
Hmm.
time in
Yeah.
a very prideful sign, a place that loves to dwell on ego and image
Hmm.
and warmth and vitality and stuff too. So, it's like that's great stuff, but there's a balance. There's always a balance.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that you are not overindulging, or if you are overindulging, that you're at least planning ahead.
Yeah. I just checked the ephemeris for 2027. And what's really fascinating is just as Jupiter is now entering Leo and Venus is getting ready to Leo, when Jupiter leaves Leo in 2027,
Mhm.
Venus comes right back. So Venus enters Leo July 27th, 2027, after Jupiter says
So
bye.
it's nice little baton handoff there, huh?
Exactly, exactly. We're in this nice little Venus Jupiter relay race for
I
the
wonder
part
how
of our
that's
chart. And Mars is going to be part of the chart too later in the year. So,
that's wild. Yeah.
but going back to your point of Chiron and Taurus, Taurus by Venus, and so we have this. What did you say? You said it's like the sensitivity and that vulnerability, and both of those signs are very prideful. And I think this, I've noticed it. I would love to hear your thoughts about it. The Venus and Leo, I've noticed that um, dealing with those vulnerability around self-belief and
Mhm.
around visibility, around like your deservedness to take up space and your deservedness to shine, being really, really just they're like, okay, I'm feeling this, especially when Chiron entered Taurus. It was like, oh, these are big issues for me in my life. You know, these are issues that we need to reckon with.
Yes, and I think that that is a really saying these are issues that we need to reckon with. I think that's a really good call out.
Mm,
Um, because when Venus is in Leo, it's very, I always think of like a Hollywood starlet, someone
yes.
who is very hand mirror and just fabulous, like really
Right.
just bigger than life.
Right.
And with with her being already so performative
Hmm.
and then feeling a vulnerability in Taurus, in the idea of what do I have, that
Hmm.
performance can become a little more aggressive
Hmm.
in order to cover something up.
Right. Like you're performing for your worth to prove your worth.
Yes, you're performing to prove your worth, but I feel like there's also a projection that comes
Hmm.
through. So who are we actually trying to prove our worth to? Are we trying to prove it to them or are we trying to prove it to ourselves?
Hmm.
And depending on where Taurus falls in your chart, can either be a really delightful
Hmm.
few years where we are able to address certain things when it comes to performance. We are able to put ourselves out there, or we're able to be a little bit more secure about some things.
Hmm.
Alternatively, we might be able to not do any of that and we just start trashing the place and destroying our lives because we think the world is against us when it's really
Mm.
not. It's just waiting for us to come out of its shell,
Yeah.
waiting for us to come out of our shell.
And that's a great segue into Jupiter and Leo because I think Jupiter and Leo, as we migrate out of here, we are coming out of the shell. We're coming
We
out of the
are.
crack shell, you know,
Yeah.
coming out of the hibernation mode. We're coming out of that TLC. I'm kind of now I'm
The
maybe I was
cradle.
a little yeah, the cradle,
The
yeah.
cradle.
And we're going, okay, world, here I'm, right?
Yes.
In our way. Like I think it is like we need to talk about Jupiter. Like Jupiter as a planet, it gets a lot of hype. It's very Jupiter in nature because Jupiter is all about hype. But it's a planet that it just magnifies the importance of the themes sign it moves through. That's like Jupiter transit, right? It's just, hey, these are really big for the next year. These things are going to be really big in the world and in your own life. They're going to manifest in a certain way for you. And so Jupiter is that planet that's like everything's big, more pronounced. There's a lot of hype around it. It is about growth. It's growing through experience, it's growing through learning new skills, new things about yourself, new things about the world. And its connection to publishing is to growth because through growth and experience, through experience, wisdom, and that wisdom you're sharing with the world ultimately. And you publish your ideas, you publish your manifestos in whatever ways that feel right to you through that Jupiter principle.
I think that's a great way to look at it. Who's to say no to a Leo rising about something like that, right? Because you're actually living it. But I
Yeah.
do think that for all of Jupiter's buoyancy and
Hmm.
for all of Leo's performance, there is a kind of grounding in a sense because it really is, hey, if you have a dream, this is the time to go get it. This is the
Yeah.
time to run after it. No one
Yeah.
else is going to take it seriously. If you want to do this, now's the
Mhm.
time, man,
Yeah.
because no one can stop you.
Right.
Literally no one can, who's going to get in your way.
Right.
And maybe you'll take some bumps along the way.
You're
Maybe
going to
there's going
take
to
some
be,
bumps.
yeah, thank you for,
For
yes.
sure.
I shouldn't hedge on that. You things will hurt from time to time,
Yeah.
but there is buoyancy. And part of Jupiter's significations is protection. Whatever
Hmm.
house Jupiter is in a natal chart, that house has a lot of protection around it. Like you're gonna be okay in
Right.
that particular area of your chart. Um,
Yeah.
it's just that you're gonna have to you have to go down in order to go back up. You have to
Yeah. And you
bounce.
have to
You have
like,
to have that pendulum swing.
and you have to stretch yourself. You have
Yeah.
to move out your comfort zone. And, to piggyback off of that with like the buoyancy factor of Jupiter, love to think of that phrase of like bouncing back, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just like there are times that we rebound and there are times that we just bounce right back up.
Hmm. And I
That's
think,
really,
yeah,
go ahead.
I think in Leo, the idea of bouncing back is really contained within each of us as an individual. It's almost kind of like we become the bouncy ball. We
Yeah.
become resilience
Hmm.
because Leo just automatically has that fighting spirit, has that cheerleader energy where
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, this didn't work out. I fell, but I'm
Yeah.
going to bounce right back and it's going to be fine. And it's going
Yeah.
to be great
Mhm.
because I learned, I got a little scuffed, but I learned and now I can try again.
Right. I mean, it's the ultimate like fire signs are all sort of optimistic by nature, and
Yeah.
Jupiter has that optimistic principle within it. And so you have Jupiter expanding Leo's optimistic side of like, I have a hunger for life. I have a
Yes.
hunger to make a mark on the world in my own unique individual way. I have a hunger and a passion, ferocity, and a voraciousness to be all that I know that I'm capable of being,
Right.
to share all that I know I'm capable of with the world. And in doing so, in cultivating self belief by sharing myself with the world, I then activate that Jupiter principle generosity and reciprocity because I'm inspiring other people to do the same. Because the best Leo energy is the one that says, I did it, but you can do it too.
Right.
It's not saying, I'm the one that can do it. That's like diva energy. It's like, no, look, let me lead you by example. And then you lead me by example. And we're
Yes.
all leaders in our own lives. And we're expanding into that.
We
I
love
think
to
there's a lot,
be the model, whether it's the
yeah.
model behavior, the actual model on the runway,
Mhm.
the one that's getting the attention, the one that's the attention of the paparazzi instead
Right.
of the actual paparazzi, which is Aquarius, which is
Right.
very involved with this because of
Yes.
Pluto.
Because of Pluto. It's the individual and the masses,
Hmm.
right? The starlet and the audience
Right.
of Leo and Aquarius.
It's very reflective. This
Right. Yeah.
entire, I mean, this entire week, but this entire year going forward, as soon as Jupiter crosses into the threshold of Leo,
Hmm.
we're all of us, I think, going to feel like a major vibe shift. And we've
Yeah.
been feeling it get bigger and bigger and bigger right
Hmm.
now. And we can, it's like a bubble that's just waiting to pop. It's
Right.
ripe.
Yeah.
And as the next few hours, we're closing up with um, Mercury retrograde in Cancer, and we're
Hmm.
closing it up with a Capricorn full moon,
Moon, yeah.
which that's almost poetic, right?
It is.
We're
It
going
is.
back to all of these nostalgic memories,
Mm.
and these feelings of nostalgia are being reflected onto us by Capricorn, by the work that we've done. We're facing the music right now. We are seeing
Right.
things as they are. And now we're going to have to go backward, gather up some information, figure out our feelings so that we can plow forward at the end of July and understand that, girl, we got work to do. We have stuff that is on our table. And if we don't
Yeah.
if we don't get it taken care of, it's going to be it's already a mess, but if we don't get it
Right.
taken care of, it's going to become an even bigger mess. So I think we are all
I was
going to be seeing that on
applauding.
the mech. Thank you.
I was like, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes. Give the applause where it is deserved. That's 100% it. It's so wonderful. I'm not gonna like change anything about it. I feel that you just described it fully. Um, I would just say with like Jupiter and Leo, and like with every Jupiter transit, we're not all of a sudden like tomorrow gonna have confidence up the wazoo.
Mm-mm.
But it's about acknowledging the fact that you believe wholeheartedly in this thing you're trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
or you really, again, have that hunger to
Mm-hmm.
grow something here.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, you're probably already feeling it. I know I am. And you're
Mm-hmm.
going, I am, I am ready. Like I'm ready to leave the cradle. I'm like hungry for life. And
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't negate there's other things going on. It doesn't mean that everything is gonna change. Like the state of the world isn't all of a sudden going to be different tomorrow. But I think that we have a lot more this transit about really cultivating a lot more belief in ourselves and our
Yeah.
power as individuals
Mm-hmm.
within the collective, like connecting it back to
Yes.
that Aquarius thing.
Yes.
Not separating us from each other, not being like, oh, I'm better than you. And no, it's like we all have what Channy likes to use is the word sovereignty,
Yes. I
right?
love that word.
Have our own like things are innately wonderful and be celebrated about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And we also can contribute that to the world to change what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just, like you said, it's really poetic too that we have this Capricorn thing
Mm-hmm.
going on. We have a Leo Aquarius thing
Mm-hmm.
beginning. This is going to be the only time we have. Well, I don't know. How long is Pluto in Aquarius? It's like 20 years. So it is going to be the only time that we have Jupiter and Leo and Aquarius in our lifetimes. Because once Pluto is Aquarius in, 19 years, it's like donezo, you know?
I hope I'm not.
No,
I hope I'm
no.
still around.
It's like that's like we're kind of living in history, I guess is the point I'm
Yes.
trying to make.
I think honestly, if can I get political?
Hmm.
If the way that I look at it, we've been living history for the past 10, 15 years. And
Yeah.
I know that that kind of sounds ridiculous because every second that we breathe air, we are living history. But
Yeah.
things have been really specifically weird and wired over this past decade, more so than usual,
Yeah.
at
Hmm.
least from an older millennial standpoint.
Well,
That's
and
what
yeah,
I
because
say.
not every generation lives through a pandemic. Like not that doesn't happen every year or every 5 years. That
I
was
just,
very, very rare.
yeah, it
Like
is.
to your point, this is a particularly impactful moment in history that we're
It
living
is.
through.
I think it's very interesting when we think about the difference between a guy like Donald Trump, who is I'm sorry, a guy like Donald Trump, who is a Leo rising, but he's at the
Mhm,
very end. He's a 29 Leo rising, as
mhm.
opposed to someone like Zoran Mandani, who
He's
has
Leo rising,
a
right?
00 Leo rising. And
Oh.
it really, when you know that
Yeah.
and you see what's happening in the bigger sense of the world, when you
Mhm,
know that everyone that Mamdani just backed
mhm,
won in New York with
mhm.
flying colors,
Yeah.
and you see the last gasping breaths of capitalism and
Mhm,
consumerism in this
mhm,
country, and you look at the astrology, and
mhm,
today you realize that there is a nostalgia taking over, almost as
mhm.
if we have to go back and look at all this like we're looking over our shoulder to say goodbye to it.
Right.
And then Jupiter in Leo hits tomorrow, and it conjuncts a 0-0 ascendant. And now all of a sudden it's almost like we're just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger in a sense of cheerleading, like a
Mm-hmm.
whole yes, we can, to take it
Yeah.
back to Barack Obama. That kind of cheerfulness
Mm-hmm.
and excitement
Mm-hmm.
is what a transit like Leo Jupiter is all about.
Right.
That is, it's A to Z, that buoyancy, the hope,
Mm-hmm.
the excitement. Um, it's going to feel like your team just won the Super Bowl
Right.
after it's the Knicks is what it
Mm-hmm.
is. It's the Knicks having a absolutely terrible, terrible franchise for as long as they did, and then bouncing back and being able to win it in the way that they won it this year.
Right.
Amazing. That
Yeah.
is a whole idea of, and it's game three. They had to look
Mhm.
over over their shoulder and face the music on, yeah, sometimes we lose this. And then they picked it right up and
Oh, yeah.
turned it around and they won.
I find it very interesting. I mean, that's a great way to like we're gonna lose this and we have to turn around and win. But I do find it very interesting the two examples that you gave because they're both centered in New York.
Mhm.
Donnie is the mayor of New York, and you have the New York. Because I remember when the Denver Nuggets won the championship for the first time in their franchise history,
Mhm.
nobody really gave a shit about it. It was this kind of groundswell and momentum. And so I think it's because there's so many bodies in New York, there's so much energy that that's what we're picking up on is that that's what makes it so palpable.
Yeah.
And it's all of that. Like you think about we all sort of set New Year's resolutions at the beginning of the year. Like we're not all in a room, but we're all sort of collectively doing it. And then that's what gives it some heft,
Mhm.
right? And so it's that collective feeling of joy New York is having right now, or that collective feeling of like, no, no, no. You thought you're win, but we're picking up speed and we're gonna be victorious is I think what's sort of gonna help sweep the nation in its own way. I mean, there's it.
No, I think there's something to that. I think you're right because New York is such a big city, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's so
And
small, but it's
yeah,
so
it's so
big.
small, but it's so huge. And bless New York, but no one is full of themselves like New Yorkers. So the second that the
Yeah.
Knicks won, or the second that
Yeah.
they got a socialist mayor, of
Right.
course that's all that is going to be talked about.
Hmm.
It's just going to permeate the culture from New York, and it's just going to
Hmm.
slowly spread. Um, and I think that it is interesting that all of that happened at the same time this astrology is lining up,
Yeah. Yeah.
or the astrology said so.
Yeah. There you go.
Did you catch that? Did you get that? All right.
No, it's so true. And then the other thing, like with Jupiter and Leo, we're talking about like the good stuff of it, right? And the feeling that you kind of want to think about in your own life of what am I trying to grow? What am I
Yeah.
here for? What do I need to be passionate about? Where do I need to grow my confidence? Where I
Hmm.
might be feeling a little wobbly or I'm still feeling unworthy of attention or I don't get enough recognition here. Those are all things that we are going to be reckoning with as individuals.
Hmm.
But Jupiter in Leo also has this, it does signify the magnification. And I'm not saying magnification necessarily in a positive way, but just sort of neutral magnification of
Hmm.
celebrity and monarch and leaders and power hungry narcissists. Yeah, like just that's astrology and so, right?
Just saying.
Yeah, just
Just
saying. That's
just throwing it
part
out
of it.
there. Yeah.
They're both at the same time because I think what you bring up Donald Trump, what we see this particular administration by this man led. I use that lightly, um, is that you see him on TV so much and you see how narcissistic he is. You see how he wants to make his imprint on the world. He's so desperate for remembrance, for leaving a legacy, because the rest look at it with disgust. We're
Yeah.
just, how conceited can you be? And so it becomes this thing of like, triggers something in us to be like, nah, this is right. I need to do something in my own life, but I don't want to do that. I want to
Hmm.
do something for the people around me,
Right.
my
Yeah.
family, or, you know.
I think I don't know if you've seen them, but there have been memes going around that depict Trump as narcissists, and he's looking into the reflecting pool as his reflection in the lake, which it's
The
so,
algae reflecting
yeah,
pool.
it's so
Brilliant.
brilliant. It really is. And even when I think about the astrology,
Hmm.
when you think of Pluto in Aquarius, of
Hmm.
course, that's going to be a mirror of
Yeah.
blech, of
Hmm.
yuck, of
Hmm.
so many teeny tiny little algae spores coming
Yeah.
together to reflect a terrible thing
Right. Yeah.
that is what it is.
Yeah. And
And
that
it's such
terrible
a, I'm
thing,
sorry
go
to,
on.
I'm
No.
just saying, I think it is just such a beautiful microcosm. You know,
Hmm.
sometimes this world, this whole three, whoever's in charge of writing all this
Hmm.
gets a sense of humor. And I can't help but look at that and look at the astrology and think, wow, man, did they really nail that symbolism right there?
Yeah. Yeah. Because
Nuts.
I think, if we extend it past him, what he represents, who he represents, because he's a representation of the people who line his pockets.
Yes.
It's the oil companies who are greedy, who rely on capitalism, and they feed off of this. They've put petroleum into everything, and we have plastics in our body and in our pee and in everything. Like, we have come to absorb their capitalistic greed from the stuff that we are told we should consume.
Mhm.
And then you have the big tech bros who switch sides. Oh, well, we don't want to be regulated, so we're going to this guy, we're going to give him money, and he's using that money for a ballroom. He's just the representation of all of people, right? There's many
Mhm.
others. Those are just, two examples of the type of greedy, power hungry, me first
Mhm.
individuals or conglomerates who don't care about the people. And so that's what I'm talking about also, where they're expanded. I'm not necessarily saying to be expanded in a good way for them. I'm also not saying that's going to be negative. I just, some that is being magnified as it is being reflected, as you said, in the algae ridden pool of Pluto and Aquarius, because there's so many more Pluto and Aquarius people.
Yeah.
We all are Jupiter and Leo people too, but that negative expression of Jupiter and Leo, which is the I'm better than you, me first, I'm monarch, I'm gonna
The
gatekeep,
tyrant.
the tyrant, the let's put everything in our pockets and fuck all the little people because
Mhm.
they're all peons and servants kind of energy, it's getting a reckoning with, like, Pluto and Aquarius is like, no. So, like, that's cute and all, but I don't think so,
Right. Like we got to rein it in because
Yeah,
look at you. Look at what you're doing.
yeah.
And
And it's just like you said, it's so poetic and so frustrating. I would find the poetry a little more, but you see him on TV so much, and you see the greed, you see him like, it's like, I don't care, I have gold behind me. It's the Marie Antoinette thing
it
where it's just
is.
like, let them eat cake, I don't care. Like,
Hmm.
I don't care that they're going hungry. Let them eat cake. That it's really big as we move into July because Jupiter moved at opposition to Pluto, but
Hmm.
there's going to be sort of in contention with each other for some time after that. As Chiron in Taurus is also just like, hey, remember me? You remember all the wounds that consumerism and greed and oil have caused? I'm over here.
Yep. It's so
Have
funny
you
that you
forgotten?
it's so funny that you're saying that because I wanted to go back to Chiron and Taurus and how it was relating to this because it is fixed.
Yeah.
It's all fixed energy and it's
Hmm.
all very stubborn and immovable.
Oh,
But
yeah.
before I talk about that, I wanted to just real quick, I thought it was so going back to the idea of Trump Leo rising,
Hmm.
Mamdani Leo
Hmm.
rising.
Hmm.
Trump has really started to understand how much trouble he's in.
Hmm.
And just yesterday, Mars enters Jupiter. I'm sorry, just yesterday, Mars enters Gemini.
Right.
And all of a sudden, we're getting, hey, the communists are trying to take over the country from Washington. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, our language has just become inflamed.
So weaponized.
It was so weaponized and so big and desperate
Yeah.
to save what it's sextiling, which is Leo.
Hmm.
And I just, you guys, like, how are you gonna, like, you get with the times, okay? Like, just stop, please, just
Right?
stop. It's
Just stop.
just let it go, let it go. We could
Pathetic.
do so much with your old folks' home. We can make it
Yeah.
beachside property, and we could have everyone bringing you a lemonade.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be everybody can get a lemonade. It's not that critical, you know?
It
Um,
it's astounding. Can we talk about the Mars Uranus conjunction for a little bit?
oh yeah,
Now that
delighted.
since you brought up Mars and Gemini, like
Yeah.
it's something's gonna break, something's gonna rupture,
Hmm.
something's gonna crack, something like Mars is like cutting, I'm dividing this. Gemini is already very divisive, very dualistic, very much like, like we put these into camps and put these over here. Mars is also the dividing principle. No, you get over there. I'm
Hmm.
going towards this. It's very slicey and dicey. And then Uranus is just rupture. It's like glass breaking. It's things just burst apart. And it's so like on the nose astrologically that we have Mars conjoining Uranus on the 4th of July,
Yes.
where literally have explosions of fireworks just in the air, right? Because that's another thing that these two planets are, right? Like Uranus is very explosive, and Mars is like the you know, detonator.
Yeah, no, it is. It's Uranus is very electric. It's very boom. It's done.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you're into tarot, it's very Eight of Wands. It's like here we go.
right, right.
And Mars being present is the trigger. It really is.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's that
Yeah,
kid
it's
like lighting it, like I'm gonna see what this does. Yeah, you
yeah,
know.
and that's why I mean, at least when I wrote about it over the weekend, I
Hmm.
had the idea like it could be all of this, but then it
Right,
could also just be like a huge fireworks show
right.
for the 250th anniversary of the United States of America.
I feel like, and maybe I'm looking too much into the symbolism of it. You could be 100% right, where it's just like, oh, it's just really big works and somebody gets burned.
Hmm.
So maybe somebody gets hurt. I hope not. I'm not hoping anybody gets hurt, but that could be part of it. Anytime you
Yeah,
have Mars and Uranus together, it's like somebody's getting electrocuted
yeah,
or somebody gets like burned or something. And so it could be something literal, a literal manifestation like that, or it could be the symbolic, somebody's gonna get burned kind of thing.
yeah,
Like jocking us awake to something, and then we're like, I'm on the other side of this person. You're already seeing with Mr. Trump, I was going to call him Donald J. Donnie J. Um, we're already seeing him lose a lot of the GOP. Like
Hmm.
that party is already being like, we've got to sever ourselves from this individual or else we are completely fucked.
Hmm.
And they have been the ones enabling him. But there's already been this severing and rupturing going
Hmm.
on. And so I'm just curious because for him, it lands in his 11th house of, groups, associations, political parties. And
Media.
yeah. And so I'm like, I wonder, I hate to make everything all about him because not everything is about him, but I just wonder how, if anything, because isn't he planning some sort of big political rally or something?
He had America Freedom 250 with the Great American State Fair this past weekend, which was an absolute flop.
Big time flop.
They said somebody, I think it was Aaron Brupar, said they called it America 250 because only 250 people showed up.
Right.
And I was, it's,
I have a thought.
I, what is your thought?
My thought is it's such a an example of what we're talking about with the Leo Aquarius stuff
Yeah.
because it's a like our 250th anniversary is about all of us. It's
Yes.
about everybody. It's about American citizens. It's about this country, which yes, problems, but we're fucking great. We're this is, I don't know if you see.
We were never not great.
Yeah, like and for people who come from other countries, they've been coming to the World Cup, they're walking around going, "This place is fucking amazing." Like they have air conditioning, they have ranch dressing, they have beer. Like we're just like, "Hey,
They have
welcome,"
Chipotle.
Yeah, like we just got it all. Um and so it's like we should be allowed to celebrate that and we are. Every one of us are allowed to celebrate the 4th of July the way that we celebrate it, but he has to make it about him. He
Hmm.
has to make what he's trying to do is he's trying to make America Donald Trump. So if
Hmm.
you're against Donald Trump, you're against America. When what it is you're just someone hired to be in charge of it temporarily. You are not the entirety of the country. We are.
Right.
And so that's what is so sweet of this American just not doing well.
Hmm.
Because it's like that's what you get for making it about you. Because
Right.
it's about you. It is
Right.
about all of it's about the red, the white, the blue, purple, the whatever. It's us. It's not just one individual who's orange. It's not on our flag,
It
okay?
is. Yeah, it's about all of us coming together to celebrate what makes this country great. And it's what makes this country great is the people in this country.
Yeah.
All of the cultures, all of the lifestyles, all of the identities, everything
Mm-hmm.
here, what everyone is doing, whether it's even if it's corporate America, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Even
Mm-hmm.
if it's corporate America, like we can make room for them, but the artists, the um spiritualists, the people who are daring to see outside the box and fill the world with amazing color, the people who are
Yeah.
being repressed.
The small businesses,
Hmm.
the rights we have as American citizens, the
The
freedom of
people who have a
speech.
dream.
Yeah, the freedom to practice whatever religion we can want to practice. The free like America, the reason why so many immigrants want to come to America, and this is one thing that a lot of Americans take for granted, it's free. You're free here.
Hmm.
Like it costs a lot, but it's you have rights. You have the right to do whatever you want. You can
Right.
build a business from scratch. You can be Jewish, you can be Catholic, you can be Baptist. You like that's what makes America amazing is that you can come here and you be.
Yeah.
And he's trying to make it into isn't America great because I'm Donald Trump?
Exactly. That's exactly what his vibe is. He's trying
Yeah.
to rebrand
Mm-hmm.
something that didn't need to be rebranded. Like For as arrogant and pig-headed as Americans are, we take a lot of pride in being
Hmm.
arrogant and pig-headed. We
Yeah.
know that we are ridiculous. There is
Yeah.
nothing in this world that we know better than the fact that we are silly. You can see it in all of the memes that come out about
Hmm.
anything that has to do with America.
Yeah.
The guy shooting at a hurricane, that's America.
Yeah.
The man standing outside in the rain, throwing a part, like headbanging with the American flag, that's
That's amazing.
America.
Yeah.
That's who we are.
Hmm.
And we reserve the right to be ridiculous. It's the
Yeah.
people who try to force us to conform
Hmm.
into anything that they see fit.
Yeah.
That's I'm that's the problem. That
Yeah.
is the absolute problem because part of being part of being American is throttling authority. That's how I mean, there's a lot of problems there, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But ultimately, when we got here, we didn't like the way that we were being treated, and so we decided to change it.
Yeah. It's
And
like America is so proactive
yeah,
too. We're
regardless
so.
of our the problematic history that we have that does need to be addressed in this country,
Mm,
we have never stopped moving forward.
right.
And
No.
we do need to look back in order to fix some of the stuff that we
Hmm.
have seriously fucked up
Hmm.
in every single way.
Hmm.
But it's almost like there is a moment of when the cartoon character is running super fast and then he stops and his tracks have to catch up with him and just slams into him.
Yeah.
That's kind of like where we're at right now as a country. And I
Right.
feel like the last character, like the last echo, is
Hmm.
slamming into him on July 4th with Mars and Uranus. And
Yeah, because Mars and like Uranus is this planet of revolution too.
yeah,
Mars is a planet of action. I mean, it does look like, at least astrologically, like a work moment, metaphorically speaking, because Mars is weaponry. It's the thing that's like, you know what? I'm gonna take this into my own hands, and Uranus, planet of let's fucking turn this over.
yeah,
Let's revolt. I just hope that it's not like a January 6th type of situation that is disgusting and such an abuse of those rights and that kind of you know that was a different thing. Like when January 6th happened, we did have a close interaction between Uranus and Mars, but I think this was in Taurus at the time, and Mars,
right.
I believe, was in Aquarius or something of that nature.
I think this will
And
be a lot more revolutionary in the sense of information. I think
yeah.
I think the tangibility happened with Taurus,
Hmm.
with
Hmm.
Mars, Uranus, and Taurus. And I think this
Yeah.
is kind of like the moment where we all sort of realize a lot of us have been in denial.
Right.
And all of a sudden it's like there's going to be a big reveal. And
Right.
that big reveal, it's
Taking
not,
action towards like an idea, like the thing that we've
yeah,
already been like thinking about, where it's
yeah,
like, I already know this, so now we're
yeah.
just moving towards it, and it feels revolutionary. It
Mhm.
feels like exciting. It feels sort of invigorating because it's like this is freeing
Yeah,
for us, and we're separating from the thing that has not been freeing.
yeah,
Like it's like making that really bold move,
yeah.
but it might just be, or it could just be a mindset
Well,
thing.
we've had all of this goofiness, this
Mhm.
really questioning of reality in Pisces with
Yeah.
Saturn, Neptune. And even though, we're moving apart there, there's still
Mhm.
some confusion and still things are getting wrapped up.
Right.
And is it by the end of next month that Saturn turns retrograde? Yes, it
Mhm.
is. Saturn retrograde
Moon
starts at the end of
is
July.
retrograde at the beginning of the month, and then Saturn is the end of it.
Yeah. So with with those configurations and those transits happening, it really is, we're taking a step back
Mhm.
to where we've been. We're understanding that the stuff that happened before
Mhm.
in Aries, with all of this conviction, this bad leadership, this autonomy of leadership that doesn't know what it's doing,
Mhm.
is moving at a pace that is uncontrollable and extremely unsustainable.
Mhm.
And now that the stuff that is ruling, that confusion and the denial and the
Mhm.
conviction, is moving into a sign that hits the airwaves. I really think that we are facing some kind of information campaign. I
Mhm.
don't know what that
Yeah.
looks like,
Mhm.
but I I for the past 15 years, I've been very adamant about people trying to make sure that they understand the concept of media literacy and questioning what they're seeing. Because
Yeah,
if
and
they
just
are
because
not,
you
yeah,
see it online doesn't mean that it's real,
right.
actual.
And that it the thing is that everybody says that, but nobody checks sources. no
Yeah.
one no one does
Yeah.
what they're supposed to. No one does their due diligence. They see
Mhm.
a headline and they start repeating it. They take it for fact, no matter where it has come from. It could come from the New York Post, the Babylon Bee. It could come from anywhere. It could come from the Epoch Times. And people are
Mhm.
going to think that it's super real and super right. And
Yeah.
the opinions that are coming out of it are all facts.
Mhm.
But they're not stopping to ask themselves, who is writing this? Who is funding this?
Yeah.
Who, why am I being told this? And what do
Mhm.
I think of it? And
Right.
I think that that is what is going to happen starting on the 4th.
Yeah.
I think that there is going to be some kind of crack in info technology
Mhm.
that is going to get opened, and it's going to be a real Pandora's box to try to
Yeah.
close.
And then I think when you pair it with Jupiter Leo, like you just are like, to use the you've been saying, like looking over your shoulder, Jupiter and Leo's far behind. There is something trying to prop up the leaders, the monarchs, the
Mm-hmm.
megalomaniacs who have a lot to do with this thing that's
Yeah.
cracking. It's propaganda. We have so much propaganda right now, and Jupiter and Leo's like, they're trying to, in a good way. Like it's, hey, look, but this, actually, he has bruises on his hand because
Right.
he's so like he shakes hands that tough. He's like that, that kind of like they're trying to really spin whatever is revealed into a good thing, and that carries us into the basket, which we've talked about on our first episode, and I think this Mars Uranus conjunction is really the catalyst for so much of that
Mm-hmm.
astrology that happens, sort of, okay, it's happening every other day or whatever. It's not like at this one moment, but the middle of July is so interesting
Mm-hmm.
astrologically, and it has to do with this Mars Uranus conjunction. And let us not forget that Mercury is also retrograde.
Right.
And Mercury rules Gemini. And so what you said about it revealing something or something out feels very apropos because that's how Mercury retrogrades tend to end for us. It's like
Mm-hmm.
we're and talking about Donald Trump, it's in his 12th house. So it's something about a secret, something that has been in the past, something either from the past, something that has been behind closed doors under you, like you said, the Doors box. Like it's we haven't has not come to light yet,
Mm-hmm.
and the retrograde is like, oh, but look the tea on it. Like
Exactly.
just revealed this thing popped up,
Yeah.
and
And I
you go ahead.
Oh, so I sorry.
I have
So
plenty.
I think it's an interesting facet of this too is how Mars has been dealing for the past, what is it, 7, 8 years with Chiron going
Mm-hmm.
through Aries.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been a wound, there's been a
Yeah.
scar that has
Mm-hmm.
been permeating everything that Mars has touched
Yeah.
over the past however many years.
Mm-hmm.
And now that wound, that scar, that fragility or vulnerability has now transferred into what do I have?
Mm-hmm.
Where do I find luxury? Where do I find comfort and equality?
Mm-hmm.
And that, now that Mars is kind of feeling more macho and feeling himself a little bit more, he's going to get a lot louder. He's going to
Right.
get bigger
Mm-hmm.
and more ridiculous, almost like the harness has been taken off.
Yeah.
And I think with that square hitting
Mm-hmm.
Leo the way that it's hitting, it
Mm-hmm.
comes back to what you were saying about proving self-worth, but there's a lot, I feel like there's a lot more than that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chip on our shoulder too. Like
Right.
we're kind of indignant over the
Yeah.
fact that so many things have been taken away from us, that
Mm-hmm.
all of our comfort, all of our luxury, Medicaid has been taken
Right.
away from us.
Yeah.
Things that sustained us
Mm-hmm.
has been taken away. And
Mm-hmm.
now we're going to fight about it
Right.
because I have beliefs too. My belief has always been that this country is great. We have
Mm-hmm.
this country has never been not great. We
Right.
could do better. There are
Mm-hmm.
places we could absolutely do better.
Yeah.
But we look over our shoulder when Chiron goes back into Aries to get the reminder.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start marching forward to say, we're not,
Right.
no, we're not doing this. We're
Right.
not doing this.
No, I think to your point also with the Chiron and Taurus thing, it's like this whole, I was talking about it like on a personal level, like
Mhm.
how do we deal with recognition and our worth
Right.
and and being able to just afford things like you mentioned. Like care shouldn't be a luxury, but that was something that's mostly affordable for Americans and now it's not. And so many Americans are going to lose their health care if they haven't already.
Mhm.
Um, but also like as talking, I was thinking of, you know, Trump and his about how he's being perceived and how he's trying to overcompensate, because there's a lot of great wounds with his public reputation now, or
Yep.
there's he's got to deal with and reckon with as it to his legacy and that he does out in the world. And it's like his value is kind of shrinking, right? And he
Mhm.
knows it. And he's not really one of those people who ever admits defeat. He just cheats. He's just trying to punch back by, you know, do calling people communists and
Mhm.
really getting more and more unhinged. Um,
His
I think what I'm trying to say is like it's a way. I'm a Leo rising, and sometimes us Leo risings, when we're not working at our best, we get pretty cunty and catty. We're like, no, you're the loser. I'm not the loser. You're the loser. I didn't lose because I let you win. Like that's not the same thing. It's our wounded ego, I guess is,
sure.
and he is just so he is the personification of a wounded ego
He is.
that does not want to admit that he's got a problem.
Yeah. It's there's so many there's things that are coming to mind that I want to say that I can't say right now. But I think I've been saying by the end of August, because we do have these eclipses that we need to get through to at the
Yeah.
end of August. I
Mhm.
think once the end of August rolls around, we're going to be at August 31st and we're going to look back at July 1st and be like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
What? This was a lot even for me, and we are all go big or go home.
It's funny because I can already see it kind of happening in my life,
Yeah.
what's going on, like not just for me personally, but like for my partner. There's a lot of things, right? And so that 100% is like, yeah, I can see by the end of August that sort of feeling washing over us just in our situation. And
Yeah.
so you think about like collective, it's just going to be the same thing, you
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
that same feeling of like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
July was kind of bonkers.
I don't know if you remember me telling you around this time last year
Hmm.
about how closely tied the Mercury
Yes.
cazinis have
Uh-huh.
been
Uh-huh.
to the Epstein files.
Yeah. Yeah,
And we
you had
have
like a
one
whole
coming up.
article about that
Yeah,
on your Substack.
yeah, I wrote a couple of them just because it was so bananas how everything
Yeah.
kept coming back to it on these specific particular dates.
Right.
But we have another one coming up during the retrograde
Uh-huh.
on July 12th.
Uh-huh.
And man, that's right before the Barbo basket. It's
Yeah.
right before
Yeah.
this splendid relaunch of society.
Yeah.
So it's like, you
It's
know what? Don't tease me with a good time.
well, I
Don't
was
do
gonna
that. Don't be
we're
nice to
talking
me. I've been
about
through a lot.
like we're talking about something coming out, something being revealed.
Mhm.
And you had like a video about this on TikTok. You also, I think, put a note out on Substack that the JD Vance, the whole thing, how he's trying to underplay Watergate, you
Yes.
know. And it's just like, why? Why are you trying to act like Watergate's not a big deal? Why are you
What are you
trying to
guys
normalize the president abusing his power to spy on people? Or
what are you
why are you
guys up
trying
to?
to, like, hmm?
What are you doing?
Is something like something gonna come out? Do you already know that? Because he's also a Leo rising, JD
He's
Vance,
also a Leo rising, and he is also a late Leo rising.
right?
And
Oh
as
gosh, I just thought of something.
you have been regularly reminding me of, the nodes just squared Uranus.
Yeah,
And correct
and
me if I'm wrong, but
Mars
I think,
does it today. Go ahead.
oh man, what's what do you think's going to happen? What's going on?
Oh, the tea.
I
Um,
know.
no, tonight and like into tomorrow. For you, it'll be 12:30 a.m. Mars squares the Lunos. So there's something, a little eclipsey that happens overnight. It feels somewhat like connected to this eclipse story that we have going on. And then, like I just thought of this because you brought up the lunar nodes. You read my mind. That Donald Trump has his rising 29 degrees Leo, and the end of July, July 26th, the nodes enter Aquarius and Leo, and the south node, they enter it in reverse. So they don't enter the
Right.
first of the sign, they enter the last degrees. So the south node is going to enter 29 degrees Leo, and the south node, a point of loss, a point of reduction, a point of draining the swamp, if you will. And it's
Oh, I
going to be
wonder if they drain all the water out of
unpleasant,
the reflecting pool again.
right? Like they're literally like trying to get this gunk out and they can't because they drove over it with his motorcade.
And then
But
there's
but the whole
the
like
350 long gash that he was
yeah,
talking about. Do you know
yeah.
that there's a
Someone
drainage pipe? There's a
oh my
drain, and
God,
we're like, is that what he thought
was
was
it
a
gash?
giant gash was actually the drainage pipe of the reflecting pool? Like, is
He
he
reminds me of like a your grandparent who, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about elder people, but it reminds me of like that grandparent who is so convinced, right? They read this one thing on Facebook and he's like, no, like it was someone came in and they cut it. No, someone cut it. Like he's so convinced that that's the truth. And it's like, did someone just tell him that someone go in there? No, well, someone got a box cutter. Can you believe that? They went in there and sliced that whole pool. And so now he's like, that's it. That's the reason.
Vandalism.
Yeah.
Algae, algifa,
Yeah.
the
But
green.
the South Node is going to be on his ascendant.
Yeah,
So there's some sort of loss of reputation with that.
yes. The
There's some
way
sort
that
of, go ahead.
the way that I look at the nodes, and I know that there's a lot of different ways to look at them, but I always kind of see them as a funnel or a wormhole or a
Mhm.
tunnel that as
Yeah.
soon as something enters into the south node, it
Hmm.
gets whipped through up to the north node.
Mm.
And in this particular case, because it's his identity, it's almost
Hmm.
like he is being turned over to the collective.
Right.
I don't know what
I
that
love
means,
that. I
but I
love
love the way it
I love the
sounds.
wormhole. I love like I'm just like Jenny's blowing my mind.
Yeah, I saw that once before with, well, I've seen it repeatedly
Right.
in different charts that I've looked at in my own experience, and how
Hmm.
it does work as a drain. It's something that we can't hold on to because it's
Yeah.
being whooshed up to the north node.
And it's also like there's so many ways that we can interpret it because it tends to look in a lot of different ways. So when I've done readings for clients, their rising sign's really close to that solar eclipse in Leo in
Mhm.
August. I'm like, okay, so we talk about release. It could mean you're releasing an old identity, right? When the South Node's on your ascent like that. It could mean sort of shed and like you're like, I'm not that person anymore. I'm this. It could also mean the release of something, a project, a set of files,
A
something that,
physical thing,
yeah, a
if you
physical
will.
thing that has to do with your identity that you're putting out, someone's putting out. And for him, it could mean a loss of reputation or a loss of identity or, something is getting slipped away.
I love how delicate you're being about this, because for me, I am going to sit here and I'm going to say, now, I'm not saying this. I'm not saying it. But Ptolemy said it.
Ptolemy said it.
Claudius Ptolemy said it, that
Mm-hmm.
where the ascendant degree is where the spirit meets the body. And
Mm-hmm.
if you have a south node transiting over that,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say it. I'm not putting it out there because Ptolemy said it. But there is a bodily thing involved with that. A
Mm.
bodily release of some sort.
Right.
Maybe
It's
he
also
feels
at
that.
the end, Leo. It's at the end. It's like, yeah. Mhm.
I'm just saying.
You,
Ptolemy said it. I'm not
Tony
I'm
said
not
it.
throwing it out there. Ptolemy said it.
Astrology said so.
Astrology
Mm,
said it.
not
I'm
us.
just the interpreter. It's just my
Right.
opinion.
Yeah. I kind of see it, that's a possibility, that's definitely a possibility. Like the nodes are going to be in the 29th degree until October,
Yeah, they're going to be hovering there because they
which
because of their retrogrades and wobbles and everything.
right. And so it's like right before the midterms too. And so to me, like we put her in Leo, and then we have the South Node moving into Leo. And so this is like, hey, we got to let go of this thing. We got to release it. We put it out there. We've got to shed our skin. We've got to lie. And then Jupiter's, yeah, but we have to grow something. We're expanding this.
Right.
In order to expand, in order to make this thing, gotta let go of this thing
Yeah.
that's over here.
Yeah. And
And
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, like, if we want to look at it from the way that we're talking about it, and this is really nasty, some sort of Epstein document comes out, clear that he's involved with it, which it has been at this point, but it's even clearer that his name is in there. It's out into the public, and the GOP is like, well, we've cut ties with him in order for us to be able to grow.
Right.
We've got to sever, we got to let him go
Mhm.
in order for us to move forward. Like that's the way that I'm trying to explain it. I don't know if that's how what's going to happen. Probably not because they'd love to. I was going to say something really inappropriate, so I'll stop there.
No, I think you're 100% right. I wrote that I really think that this is the end of the Republican Party as we know it. I
Yeah,
think that
as
they
we know
are
it.
as we know it. I think that there are absolutely going to be like weird offshoots and sprinkles of libertarianism and ultra
Mhm.
conservatism and like other stuff just trying to pick itself up from where
Right.
it fell off. But um it's going to be a mess. And I think it's going to be a real mess for like the next 20 years. This is not going to go away.
Yeah.
What has happened is not going to go away. And I do think, and I've been saying this since the summer of 2023, this is
Mhm.
all growing pains.
Mm.
All of this is it's it sucks.
Mhm.
The people are hurting, people are hungry, people are not able to make ends meet.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really terrible things that are going on in this country right now. And it is my hope that that is not going to be in vain. And I think that I'm right about that
Right.
because, of course, I do. But the astrology backs me up.
The
When I look,
astrology backs you up, and the history of our country backs you up
yes,
because historically, following the Civil War, we had the Restoration.
right,
Right. We
right.
had a period where we had to reckon with the fact that we had enslaved individuals
Hmm.
and that we were okay with that, and that there was still a large swath of the country that was okay with that, but they were like, all right, fine, we concede, and that we were literally at war with each other
Hmm.
and we had to rebuild.
Hmm.
Like it was like, what is our identity? Very Neptune and Aries, right?
Yep.
What is our identity in this conflict? Who are we as a nation? But we always bounce back because we've got Sagittarius rising. We always
Right,
bounce back.
right.
That doesn't mean that we moved forward perfectly
Mm-mm.
because as we can, they're trying to bring back things like the Jim era. They're trying to reduce the voice of people of color. They're trying
Right.
to reduce not even reduce. I mean, they're just trying to wash down the role that immigrants play in our country,
Right.
acting like there was a Kelly had like a tirade. I don't know if you heard about that, like really
Mm-mm.
racist tirade about that whole the Supreme Court said with immigration and Haitians and Syrians, they ruled
Hmm.
in favor of Donald Trump. And she was like, saying, get the F out of our country. You don't belong here. You didn't this country, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, it's so mind boggling to me because like America is built on immigrants. Like immigrants build America. Like
I'm like,
so
look
many
at your
people,
skin. You were not from here.
no, no. I like my grandmother immigrated from, or my great grandmother immigrated from Ireland.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here, not
Yeah.
because I'm like, it's such a dumb way of looking at our
Yeah.
country. And I think that's something that I mean, we have to reckon with. And I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm going on so many different tangents.
No, no, no,
We
no.
had
I
that
love it.
reconstruction, and I think that's part of what you're talking about, like the next 20 years. Like we've got to deal with the way MAGA has torn our
Yeah.
country up by vocalizing the worst parts of our country. But I think, I'm optimistic about it. How are we going to look at it? How else are we going to really acknowledge that there still is racism in
Hmm.
our country? There's still sexism in our country,
Hmm.
still classism. There's still so much of that. That doesn't mean that our country isn't great. It means that we still,
We got work to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
There's still a
still
lot of
hard
work
to
to do.
afford everything, but we can do better.
Yeah. And something that I think a lot of people have neglected to take a look at is that today might not be perfect, but
Mhm.
it's better than it was yesterday. Because
Yeah.
if you look back at some of the stuff that was going on yesterday,
Right.
we at least can acknowledge the fact that that should not have happened.
Right.
Even as recently as the 1990s,
Mm-hmm.
there is a immense, incredibly large, problematic portion of this country's history that needs to be addressed
Yeah.
because it was specifically whitewashed. And they're
Yeah.
still trying to do that. But
Mm.
because of Pluto and Aquarius and the amount of collectiveness that we
Mm-hmm.
have, we are able to show each other our pain and what it's like to be, a white woman in Pittsburgh or
Right.
a white woman in Colorado Springs, and how
Mm-hmm.
our lives are different to a black man in Mississippi
Right.
and what they're trying to deal with, or in Alabama or Georgia or anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
We're it was never so obvious as it is
Right.
now.
Yeah.
And the idea of a surveillance state so far
Mm-hmm.
has not been the 1984 version. They want it to be.
Yeah.
They want to bring it in as the 1984 version, but it's not. It's
Mm-hmm.
TikTok, it's social media. That's
Yeah.
why they went after those companies from the
Yeah.
jump,
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't want us to bear witness face to face.
Yeah.
As face to face, they didn't want us to be able to see things happen in real time.
Right.
And I think as a result of all of this, I know that I've heard some pretty awesome wild stuff coming out of the Democratic Socialist Party.
Mm-hmm.
And one of their things is that they want to, on their platform, one of their things is that they want to abolish the Electoral College. The
Mm-hmm.
Electoral College is incredibly racist.
It is.
And in order to get in order to get us to where we need, we have to count vote for vote. It
Right.
has to be popular vote. That I
Mm-hmm.
think is one of the single largest things, the single
Yeah.
best things, and definitely it should be a priority. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a socialist yet,
Right.
but I do think that in order to get us to where we need to go, that is the best place for us to start, is getting rid of that, because everyone deserves to be heard.
Right.
And I
No, that's
think bringing it back to the astrology, I think that's what this week is about in the
yeah.
long run.
Yeah. And so I've said this kind of from the beginning of the year. I said it sort of in a surreptitious, don't I don't want to say it out loud in case I'm wrong, but the Aries transits of Neptune and Saturn in Aries, like to me, it seems like he's trying to do something with our individual voting rights because
Right.
voting to me is very like Aries thing of it's my thing. This is who I want. And I have the right to do it. And this is mine. And it's our right as citizens to be able to cast a vote for whoever we want.
Best. Yeah.
And that's still what he's trying to do. He's still trying to, squash that because he knows, again, it's so frustrating because you can see it on the outside, but a lot of people don't see it. He loses and then fraud. And then before he even goes into a race, he says, "Well, if it's because they cheated.
Right.
It's big. It's like we're so like setting you up to have that expectation of, oh, they must have like there must be some stuff going on, to undermine our trust in the voting process
Mhm.
because it's so key to our country. And if people don't trust voting, if people don't trust, the process, then they're not going to do it.
Right.
Or if it's harder for people to do it, then they can't do it. It's like I lost my train of thought just then. But it was sort of connected to what you were saying, I guess.
No, I love all of that. I think, I mean, I obviously I think you're right.
Yeah.
There's I think at the end of the day, it's just that we have to decide who we are.
Mm.
And this country knows who it is.
Yeah.
It just kind of
Forgets.
lost its way. It forgot.
Yeah.
This country knows who it is. It forgot. And now it needs to start righting the ship. And
This country,
it's going
like
to happen.
if I were a political,
Mhm.
what I always see this country vote on because we're a cancer.
Yeah. Very
We vote
emotional.
on security.
Yeah.
We vote emotionally. We our pocketbook. We vote on our creature comforts. We vote on how well I'm going to be able to afford a house and provide food for my family. I mean, that's kind of like basic and stuff, but we are very emotional. So that's why we tend to swing because we
Hmm.
go, hey, like we're not a solely Democrat or solely Republican nation.
Mm-mm.
We focus on whoever we think is going to the job of making our lives more affordable and
Hmm.
easier to live the American dream, which is to own your own home and, be able to pass that down to your family. And so if I was a political strategist, it'd be like, you should just always be talking about those points. Those should be the things that you talk about. That's what the Republican Party did in the last election. I don't know how well they're going to be able to do that in the terms because they're not making our lives more affordable. And so it's like, can you really talk about something that you're the cause of? They can sit there and try to blame the Democrats, but they're not the ones in charge of every branch of government right now.
Yeah. I
You know?
think that there's a lot of I think in 20 years, when we see the documentary of what happened during the 2020s,
Right.
we are going to understand a lot better that today and over the past 10 years, social media has been hijacked and rigged and used against the American public. And I don't know exactly how anyone could deny that, even right now.
Yeah.
But everything that has happened up until today, when it comes to wars
Hmm.
and trying to drum up support for wars, all of that was fake.
Yeah.
And it was never popular. It was never a good idea. People genuinely knew better,
Yeah.
but you don't want to get bullied by people online that you don't know.
Well, yeah, and that's so interesting. Like, the social media thing, I don't know why I went on my voting tangent, but the social media thing plays to, I think, what we're looking at in July as well, because
Yeah.
especially when we look at that Jupiter-Pluto opposition, because it
Hmm.
does Pluto and Aquarius feels very tech revolution, but
Hmm.
also people, revolting against
Hmm.
tech and being like, there's, AI, especially being a big topic of concern for us as individuals and the theft of our creative aptitudes and
Right.
our creative skill and craftsmanship, And I think that social media angle is such a key part of what's going on right now. And it's so like people just overlook it. Like they were there at the inaugural or the inauguration, Facebook and Apple and the TikTok and they were behind him. Like it was the most Pluto and Aquarius, Pluto Kazemi thing seen. Because
Hmm.
they're just like hovering in the background, front and center, like,
Hmm.
and they're all just like, creeping behind him because they're the ones who profit off of our attention.
Yep.
They profit off of our engagement. We're both on social media. We're going to put this on social media. Like it has its place, but to your point, they are using it to both enrich themselves and surveil
Hmm.
because it's the easiest way to do it. It's the most covert way. to do it, to
Yep.
get a pulse on what people are saying. Oh, there's this video that came out of someone speaking out against this. Let's take it down. Let's control the narrative. Let's control what people see, and let's make media literacy even more difficult
Mm-hmm.
for people to practice because we have such a grip on the information that goes out there, or we know what people are talking about, so we know how to spin X or Y.
I think that I come at it, I think, from a little bit of a different angle
Hmm.
because as Jupiter is going through Leo,
Hmm.
it's really going to feel itself, right? It's
Yeah.
Jupiter's walking around with its chest all the way puffed out,
Right.
really speaking from the chest.
Hmm.
And we have to remember that Pluto opposition is there, and it's going to
Yeah.
be a laser beam for the
Right.
entire year, and
Hmm.
it's just going to focus completely on Jupiter because it's so big.
Right.
And so what is it going to do? It's going to suck all of that macho-ness, all of the I'm so big and bad vibe,
Bravado.
all
Yeah.
of the bravado. It's going to
Hmm.
suck it right out of it because it's you're not as big and bad as you think you are. You still
Right.
have to answer to someone. You have to answer to the people.
Right.
And to bring it from a macro level down to a micro level, that exact same thing is going to
Hmm.
happen to all of us in one way or another, depending
Right.
on where Leo is in our chart.
And Aquarius.
There is going to be a humbling
Hmm.
in some ways, but that will build back better for the future.
Right.
There is reason to feel really excited and really big,
Yeah.
but there has to be a balance. And if
Right.
you get too big for your britches, you're going to be brought back down to earth, Icarus, real
Yeah.
quick.
And I agree with you. What I was talking about is Pluto and Aquarius. Like, I'm solely about the way that, Pluto is a thief, and Pluto in the iteration of it, we've seen it. That's how
Yeah.
they've stolen our attention, and they've stolen a lot of our individual time from us. But that doesn't mean
Mhm.
that we can't take it back.
Yeah.
But I
I
agree with you. I think that in the it's really interesting. We look at it from a mythological lens,
mhm,
bringing up, like Icarus, Narcissus, Pandora's. Pluto he's the god of the world.
mhm,
Hades he's under, you don't really want to go down there. And Jupiter is the sky god. Jupiter's
mhm,
like, he's the main guy. He rules Olympus.
mhm.
And so it's just really interesting. You don't hear a ton of stories about them interacting in mythology. It's very rare. If it is, it's usually you being like, "Hey, so can you do something for me?" Because you have to kind of like really humble yourself when you reach Hades because he's that fucking bad and like badass, and scary. And it's not really, it's too dark down here. I like it where there's like sunlight, and now I have to come down here and sort of ask for a favor, and maybe you'll do it for me.
I love that for Hades.
It's, yeah, like Hades is just like, what do you want?
Yeah. Hades is like, I don't care. You can
Yeah.
either be here or you cannot be here. You got 3 minutes before I escort you out,
Yeah, before I
one
have
way
you
or the other.
escorted out. Cerberus, get to it.
Yes, let's love this.
And so that it's just interesting to think about it because they're both baddies,
Hmm.
both like in charge of something, and they both have a lot of clout and a lot of prominence, and thinking about in that Bible sense, like, Pluto is the one is gonna be serving Jupiter humble
Right.
pie. He's gonna be like, you are too big for your britches.
Yes. You are the
Get
weakest
out.
link, and I am going to show you how over a very
Yeah.
slow period of time.
And it's gonna hurt, and then you're gonna be like, I'm glad I learned that lesson.
You will say thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to make your life miserable, and you will say thank you.
And you will say thank you.
Mhm. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So,
There's a lot of astrology happening, and it's like, Jupiter in Leo is not the center of the universe, but it's the big thing that's happening coming up. So,
I think Jupiter and Leo would disagree that it's
oh,
not the
well,
center of the universe.
I mean, it's, I was just being nice to the other signs. Like
Yeah.
other planets. No, Jupiter on my ascendant, so forgive me not. I
I have
have
Pluto on my ascendant. So I know.
that. Look at that.
That's
We're
why I love
we're
that so much for Hades.
yeah. You're like, okay.
Mhm. Go ahead, go down to the underworld, see what happens.
See what happens. See if you get what you want.
Exactly. So,
This has been a good one, though. I feel like it's been very informative. We've touched on a lot of serious topics.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Um, I am kind of spent.
Yeah, me too. How do we wrap it up?
How do we wrap it up? Well, you can subscribe. We'll talk about that. So if you want to read more about what Jenny has said about the Epstein files and Mercury Cazimis, about Mars Uranus conjunction, and if you want to read more about Jupiter and Leo, I'm going to be dropping that forecast horoscope very soon. We have so much astrology content on both of our Substacks, but you can find Jenny D's at what's your URL?
Astrologyuncensored.substack.com.
And I'm cosmiccannibal.substack. You can follow us both on social media. We're TikTok. You're on Instagram as well.
I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm across the internet as Jenny, the number two hearts, Jenny Two Hearts.
I'm at Cosmic Cannibal Camille. So you follow us, keep abreast of the stuff as it unfolds because interesting.
It is interesting.
So
All right,
this
beautiful.
Astrology Said So podcast, and thanks for watching, and we'll next time, right?
Bye.
Bye.